Welcome to BioTrek-sailing. BioTrek is not our first sailboat.
We've had many catamarans, monohulls, and various sizes. Pierre raced tornadoes on the Canadian Olympic team, and when we came back from our 2005-2007 round the world, we bought a used tornado, but it was too wet and wild for me. BioTrek is a well-appointed performance cruising catamaran, and we are poised to start another round the world cruising with our dog Tiller. We've stayed in St. Lucia most of hurricane season because of the complications of sailing between islands during the pandemic. In this video, we head up to Martinique, and this trip is a little bit special. We wanted to be there with the arrival of the boats competing in the Transat Jacques Vabre, a race from France to Martinique. Of special interest to us is a friend of ours, Jean-Pierre Baumes, is competing in a Class 40 boat. Jean-Pierre sailed with us on BioTrek from France to the Canary Islands in 2019, and we want to be there to cheer him on at the finish.
The Transat Jacques Vabre is an iconic transatlantic race in the sport of sailing, and this year there's a record 79 boats, and there are 4 different classes of boats with 3 different race courses. But first, a little bit about the race. The idea for this race was to retrace the historical coffee route from the New World to France. This year's race ends in Martinique. They're congregating for the start.
Un bon départ, c'est un bon départ.
And the Rothschild, which is the one that just won the Fastnet, is rolling at 30 knots right now, upwind.
There are 4 classes of boats in the race. The largest boats are the Ultimes, and these are the fastest boats on the planet. They're 130 foot long, and their area is equivalent to 3 tennis courts. Their speeds of 45 knots could be breathtaking. The next class is the Ocean 50. Well, this class was just born in 2021, and they came from a class called the Multi 50. Now, this is also a huge boat, and it looks enormous unless you see it next to an Ultime. The next class of boats are the IMOCAs. The class was formed in 1991 and stands for the International Monohull Open Class Association. The association defines the rules to regulate equity and safety. The boats are 60 feet long, and many of the races are single-handed, such as the Vendée Globe, which is the flagship race of the class. The Vendée Globe is a round-the-world race, single-handed, under very challenging conditions. My favorite is Sam Davies. She's raising money for a charity to help children who need heart surgery. In this TJV race, there are 14 female sailors, 5 in the IMOCAs and 9 in the Class 40, and there are 3 all-female crews. The Open 40 class was officially born in 2005. Since then, there have been 200 of these boats built, and there's quite a bit of build separation between the oldest ones and the newest ones. Our friend Jean-Pierre Baumes is on a boat called FullSave, and he's sailing with Laurent Cambruti. The Open 40s class is the only class where they're both professional and amateur sailors. Well, amateur is really a relative term.
Jean-Pierre competed in the 2018 solo transatlantic Route du Rhum, coming in 5th overall and the first in a production boat. An Ultime 4X, which is a smaller version of our boat, an Ultime 5X. The race started in the Havre, and the boat sailed down the English Channel past the striking white cliffs of Trat before heading out to sea. Once around Cape Finisterre, the sailors head towards the Canaries, where the classes split. The Ultimes have the longest route down to Brazil. The IMOCAs and 50s have the same course, and the 40s turn at the Canaries straight to Martinique. This year, however, was very challenging because there was no wind in the Atlantic.
We're just leaving the anchorage. We're going to meet Jean-Pierre when he comes past Martinique towards Port-au-Prince. So we've just left the anchorage, and let's see where he is. So that's Jean-Pierre's boat.
Ok, reviens, tu viens vers nous là, je sais pas si tu nous as repéré à l'AIS.
Ah oui, oui, je vous vois très bien à l'AIS et on vous voit visuel aussi.
Ok, bah écoute, je suis sur le pont parce qu'on a un retard. À très bientôt en tout cas.
D'accord, à bientôt.
Here we are.
Écoute, merci à Pierre aussi, hein, et à Lisa. Et sans oublier le chien killer.
Okay, so what's going on is we had trouble unrolling the Jennifer for some reason. We put the Genoa out, we couldn't keep up. And now we have the Jennifer back up, and hopefully we can keep up. Even though he's a 40-foot boat, he's sailing with his spinnaker up. And you can see him heading towards Diamond Rock, that beautiful point up there. So what do you think of sailing on BioTrek?
Fantastic.
Just approaching the finish line, and we're heading into Port-au-Prince and finding a place to anchor. We just put out the little stay sail.
It was dark by the time we got anchored. Pierre dropped the dinghy into the water and went over to pick up Jean-Pierre, his wife.
Et bonjour Sida. Bonjour Lisa.
Bonjour!
Tu vas bien?
With the demonstrations and roadblocks going on in Martinique because of protests against vaccine mandates, nobody could get back to the hotel, so we all just crashed on BioTrek. Martinique has had a very difficult time with COVID-19 since the pandemic started. The demonstrations against vaccine mandates were very disruptive to the arrival of the Transat Jacques Vabre boat. There were roadblocks, so cars just could not get to Fort-de-France. And food delivery was disrupted, so grocery stores were bare. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see all the boats arrive, with the exception of this view of Rothschild, the winner of the Ultime class. We did get to visit the boats the next day, but unfortunately the Ultimes had all left.
So we can see FullSave right there. So we're just going to visit Jean-Pierre's boat. He's not here. He's gone to check into his hotel, so but he said just go on aboard, so that's what we're going to do. Station de navigation avec un siège qui est pas confortable. Je peux pas imaginer. Et
faut que tu penses que le bateau est presque toujours incliné, hein? C'est la raison pour laquelle le siège est parti.
Et il dort là, mais il n'y a pas de matelas.
Non.
Oh, ça c'est le matelas ici, je pense.
Oui.
Et juste les voiles à l'intérieur. Oh, regarde, juste une petite chose pour faire le thé.
Nicolas, les grosses manettes qu'il y a là, qui vont passer la coque, c'est le système de ballast.
Oui,
c'est ça.
C'est le ballast.
Parce qu'ils remplissent les réservoirs d'eau, les uns, en avant, en arrière, à gauche et à droite, pour balancer le bateau, pour donner plus de rigidité.
Et il y a un passage pour... si le bateau se retourne, il y a un passage en dessous. Ouais, mais tu as vu comment c'est ou pas? T'as jamais regardé à l'intérieur? Descend. Donc Lisa un peu plus loin, sur le côté un peu plus loin, il y a le passage pour l'évacuation.
Oh oui, je vois, en arrière.
C'est par là.
Oh, c'est par là. I thought it was the one in the back.
Oh, that's the escape hatch there. You have to get down underneath that thing. Oh my gosh. You better not turn this boat over. You'd have to be diving underwater.
Ouais.
And I guess
C'est
this...
vraiment le petit passage, c'est impossible.
Oh, ça c'est le frigo. So they don't really have a
Ils ont
refrigerator.
ouais,
Petit déjeuner, c'est marqué. Okay. Biscuit. Okay, on a fait le tour de bateau. Oh, you wish you were doing this again, or do you rather be on BioTrek? Sam Davies. Oui, c'est ça. Bravo. Bravo. So here we are in Anse Arlet, just south of Fort-de-France. Beautiful location, and the party for Jean-Pierre was last night. We're about to take off for St. Lucia. We were delighted to be able to sail out and meet Jean-Pierre as he sailed by. And look at this view. So we were up there on the hill